Party's been very vocal on the carbon tax, sir, and I want to welcome you to the program today. Tell me a little bit about what you make of these changes.
Well, first, it's a huge admission and a big reversal by the government. Originally, they said, don't worry, this carbon tax won't kill any jobs or send any industry out of the country. Today, they are admitting that the tax would do exactly that. Businesses, which are already reeling under Trump's tariffs and Trudeau's other taxes, are threatening to leave Canada if this tax is imposed at its original levels, and that's why Trudeau has been forced to backtrack today. But the second thing that I would say is that while the Trudeau government has announced it will limit the blow to large industrial emitters like petrochemical companies and cement plants, it is not reducing the cost and the impact on consumers and families. So everyday households are going to be paying more for gas, home heating, groceries, and electricity, while the government is focusing on the well-being of the corporate sector. So we think that taxes should be lower for everyone. Justin Trudeau is raising those taxes on middle-class people.
But this, as you say, is perhaps an acknowledgement in some part of the tariffs that Donald Trump has been placing on Canadian industry. Do you think there was also some reaction to the pushback from provinces, specifically Ontario and Saskatchewan, who said they would take the government to court over this?
I think our overall campaign is working. We're winning the debate. We know the great energy entrepreneur Michael Binion has warned the government that if they raise carbon taxes in Canada, they'll drive industry south of the border where there is no carbon tax and where there are less environmental standards. Ironically, this will not reduce emissions. It will only move jobs and opportunity out of our country. But I still go back to the core point. Under Trudeau's plan, gas prices will go up 11 cents a litre. Home heating will cost $250 more per family. Groceries will be more expensive, and everybody will pay more. We don't know how much more because the government has been covering up the calculations that it has done. That's the carbon tax cover-up. That's what Conservatives are calling for, an end to that cover-up and for lower taxes for consumers and Canadians at large.
Okay, well, I would assume that the Liberal government would push back on those numbers, but we have
Well, those are the Liberals' numbers. They come right from Finance Canada.
Well, let me ask you about what the Environment Minister has to say in terms of the fact that the economy and the environment can go hand in hand. They're not necessarily independent of each other. Where's the happy medium for Conservatives?
We agree the economy and the environment must go together. But unfortunately, the government's policies have hurt both. For example, Trudeau blocked one pipeline to the Atlantic, Energy East, and another pipeline to the Pacific, Northern Gateway. And as a result, we're importing dirty foreign oil into Canada. That's bad for our environment. The most environmentally proper way to transport our oil is by pipeline. And by blocking those pipelines, this government is actually hurting both the environment and the economy. We would approve pipelines quickly, enforce those approvals, get them built so that we can bring more jobs and opportunity to Canada, which is an environmentally responsible country.
Right, but we're even seeing the pushback on the Trans Mountain pipeline, which has been endorsed by the Liberal government, but there's no guarantee that that's going to go through anytime soon. What with the legal challenges in BC?
Well, that's why we need leadership from the Prime Minister. He has to indicate that he will assume federal authority for all the permitting and that he will use the force of law, including the armed forces and our national police force, to clear the way from law-breaking protesters who prevent its construction. We need these pipelines. They are legal. They are approved by a democratically elected government and a thorough environmental process. It's time to stop talking and get building.